So let's go over the bikes that I got a chance to actually personally ride on. First up, I rode the Super Tenere. I believe that's how you pronounce it, and if it's not, I don't care. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. 1200 cc's engine and shaft drive. I believe it's a shaft drive. 6-speed gear indicator-y thingy. And the good. Well, let's start off with my experience here, because why not? I'm an idiot. Roll the clip. And so, we almost begin. Oh my god, this thing's tall. Huh? Oh, I'm an idiot. Sorry.
Good to go?
Yeah. So there's me, first ride of the day, looking like, you know, someone who's never ridden a motorcycle before, apparently, because I forgot the kickstand. Anyway, I thought it was quite torquey down low. I thought it had more than enough oomph. It was smooth, the engine was smooth, the exhaust was shit, I couldn't hear it. I didn't put earplugs in, by the way, for any of these rides. I took the earplugs out because I wanted to hear how bad the wind noise was and what the actual engine sounds from the bike were. And it just was very quiet, and it was really low idling. I stalled it once because I couldn't hear the damn thing. I was surrounded by the other bikes. I had the R6 in front of me, the MT10 in front of me, I had the XSR, the parallel twins behind me, and I couldn't hear the damn bike. Onto the goods again, though. This bike had a mode switch. I don't recall how many modes, but see, Yamaha puts the mode switch like right down there where the start button is on this bike. And all of those bikes, except for, I think it was the Eluder and the FJR 1300, utilize the same way of changing the mode across the brand. I thought that was pretty cool, actually. You could jump on any one of those bikes and know, okay, I change mode by doing exactly this across the brand. And yes, it was turn the throttle not very much and boom, you got RPMs out of it. I thought it rode well. It didn't feel like a heavy bike while riding on it. Now, it's a tall bike, and I'm short. So yeah, it rode like a tall bike. But I had that with the Magna too, so you 1 foot a stoplight or a stop sign or intersections, or, you know, this thing was really balanced enough that we came up to a couple intersections where I didn't have to put a foot down, I just had to go slow. The bad, what the fuck is with the screen on this thing? You know, the 80s called and they said, hey, your LCD screen, it needs to come back to the 80s. It was just really, on a bike that cost, I think, $16,000 with options. I don't know, the display was just very kind of kludgy, and I question how well it would work in direct sunlight. Another bad for me, I've talked to other people and they don't see the big deal of it is, but when you pull the clutch in, the gear indicator goes from telling you what gear you're presently in to double dash. Well, thanks, I guess. I found that annoying. And the discussion we had as a group was, well, you shouldn't need to know what gear it is that you're in when you're changing gears. You should just know. I tell you what there, I don't. I really, really don't. I sometimes, usually, most of the time, just in the peripheral of the mind, I know what gear I'm in. But other times I feel it would be really handy to know, am I in third? Am I in fourth? What the hell gear am I in? Especially when you come up to like a light that changes very quickly and you're just kind of putting along through it and you have to just hit the clutch and brake and you're stopped. Well, what the hell gear am I in? Just saying. I don't know if I'm a fan of parallel twins. That's the other... Whoa, dude. Get on with your badass self. The windscreen. Okay, now the Multistrada had a little grab bar right in the middle, and you could change the position of the windscreen from the seat. The smaller Multistrada did not have a electronic one. It just had a manual one, but at least you could adjust it from the seat. This thing, you've got to go and do 2 little turn screws on the side, and you could only do it off the bike. There was no adjustments to be made whilst on the bike. So that was frustrating. But I didn't really find a lot of negative, just stuff that was kind of frustrating for a bike that cost that much, but it didn't put me off enough to go, yeah, I'd never recommend this. I thought it was a decent bike. I thought, having seen some reports about this thing off-road, its capabilities are not up to snuff to some of the other things in its class. But I would ride that bike. If someone gave me the money to buy it, yeah, I'd ride it. As we were, bike 2, the XSR 700. Lord, that bump. That was quite the torquey little bastard, and had a very, very short wheelbase. Also 6 gears. And I didn't mind it. In fact, I felt there was no wind protection at all on that bike, but the air and the audio that came through on my mic, way cleaner than coming off the Super Tenere. Don't know why, don't know what happened there. And I didn't feel the air nearly as badly either. It was a nice little ride. Now, saying that, the thing to me that I noticed was, once you hit 3rd gear, it was kind of like, nope, I got nothing left. The torque kind of died off, the acceleration died off, and yeah, okay, I get it. It's an in-town kind of bike. This is not a bike that you want to go and take up and do a crap ton of interstate traveling. I get that, I do. But I can never see owning a bike purely just to be my around town bike. Because I don't live in a town. I live out here in the country area, and there's times I'm going to need to take interstate travel. In fact, a lot of times I need to take interstate travel. So for me, it just wouldn't be a good choice. Now, I did get an accidental pussy wheelie in, that you can see here, after we were instructed very, 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 very heavily not to do hooligan shit. In my defense, it completely caught me off guard. I was still in 1st gear. I just nailed the gas, and whoop, there goes the front end. Now, with the negatives and good aside, it's not a bad bike. The seat on it was pretty comfortable. The position of the bars for me, comfortable. It was just almost as frickin' tall, though, as getting onto that Super Tenere. And it had, the XSR had the optional comfort seat, whatever that is. Finally, the last bike I got to give a shake on was a bike I had been thinking about for a while, that was in my top list of, boy, it'd be nice to have this bike. The FJ09. Now, this FJ09 had no touring package whatsoever. It had the world's geekiest and stupidest looking windscreen on it. It did not have the upgraded seat, though. And my God, okay, the good, let's get to the good, right? Torque for days. It didn't matter what gear you were in, just torque for frickin' days. That triple, oh my God, it's the sound of sex. It's a beautiful thing. The exhaust note on it, the way the power is there and delivered, absolutely phenomenal. That's a great engine. Downsides for me. The seat was not overly comfortable, and once, it actually probably sat a little bit lower than the seat that was currently on that XSR. The freaking mirrors on it were just, oh god, just, I couldn't see shit behind me. And maybe, so like with these, you know, you can change this bar angle as well as the angle of the mirror itself. It was angled more towards the body, and I couldn't do anything at all with the actual glass, well, plastic casing, to try and get it to a position where I wasn't just mostly seeing my damn shoulder. Didn't work out well for me. And their windscreen, out of all the bikes that I had, you gotta stop. You gotta stop, lady. Out of all the bikes that I had tried that day, that was just a joke of a windscreen. It didn't do crap for wind management. It was extremely noisy. It hit me in the face shield itself, if not the chin. It was not doing anything for me. And I'm short. Again, I'm short. 5'8". And the final, just the killer for me, was the bars. Now, remember, I had ridden 90 miles to get to this place on this bike. I had ridden another 20 miles on 2 other bikes. And my right hand, like, immediately into the ride, started going numb on the FG09. Didn't have it with the other ones. I don't know if, you know, and I ran into that too occasionally with the Magna. The Magna bars were really, really close together and really flat. It was like being on an MX bike. I could never find a really good position for those bars. And hell, they were 3-way adjustable. You could roll them. There was a spot here broke that you could adjust there. Not a fan of the bars on the Magna. And that was my biggest disappointment, was I couldn't get comfortable on the FJ09. And I had a rider on the Eluder, or one of their big bagger V-twins in front of me, that just was scared to death of rolling on throttle. So, I mean, there'd be a little space in front of me, and I'd nail the gas, and boom, I have nowhere to go. I gotta slow down again. That's just a thing of being on a group ride. But that saddens me that one of the bikes I went, man, if I ever had the funds and the ability, that is definitely in the list of top 3 bikes I want to pick up. And it's not anymore. The engine, yes. But the bike, really not so much. And thus ends the second part of the day for me. I really enjoyed it. It was worth the 200-mile almost jaunt to be there, and I would do it again. So I guess until the next time, Internet, let's try not to eat shit in these stones. Later days.